Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the colors by Scouts Miranda Mahalik and Vincent Epstein. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and our national anthem performed by the Versus High School Choir under the direction of Michael Simon. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Audience, attention. Color guard, attention. Color guard, advance. Color guard, cross the colors. Color guard, post the flag of the United States of America. Color guard, post the flag of the state of Missouri.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance again. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may all be seated.
Those were just true today as they were then. Throughout this nation's history, our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen have bravely answered the calls to defend our freedom, aid our friends and allies, and turn back aggressors. We can never fully repay our debt of gratitude to the more than 650,000 American service members who died in battle, or the 1.4 million who were wounded. We can, however, recognize and thank the 25 million veterans still living today. Our nation honors her sons and daughters who answered the call to defend a country they never knew and people they never met. These words apply equally to many of our veterans of World War I, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Gulf War, and the global war on terror in Iraq and Afghanistan. They apply to today's active duty service members, tomorrow's veterans, who are helping maintain peace throughout the world. Today it is our privilege to say thank you to all of America's veterans, to let them know that we appreciate them for their service and honor them for their sacrifices. The price of freedom is high, we cannot afford to forget those who have to pay for it. Today we celebrate our veterans for keeping this nation the land of the free and the home.
In 1921, an unknown World War I American soldier was buried in Arlington National Cemetery. This site on the hillside overlooking the Potomac River in the city of Washington, D.C. became the focal point of reverence for American veterans. Similar ceremonies occurred in England and France, where an unknown soldier was buried in each nation's highest place of honor. These memorial gestures all took place on November 11th, giving universal recognition to the celebrated ending of World War I fighting. At 11 a.m., November 11, 1918, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. This became known as Armistice Day. Armistice Day officially received its name in America in 1926 through a congressional resolution. It became a national holiday 12 years later by similar congressional action. If November 11th if the idealistic hope had been realized that World War I was the war to end all wars, November 11th might still be called Armistice Day. But only a few years after the holiday was proclaimed, war broke out in Europe. 16.5 Americans took part, 407,000 of them died in service, more than 292,000 in battle. The first celebration using the term Veterans Day was in Birmingham, Alabama in 1947. Raymond Weeks, a World War II veteran, organized National Veterans Day, which included a parade and other festivities to honor all veterans. The event was held on November 11th, then designated Armistice Day. Later, U.S. Representative Edward Reed of Kansas proposed a bill that would change Armistice Day to Veterans Day in 1954. Congress passed a bill that President Eisenhower signed proclaiming November 11th as Veterans Day. Raymond Reeds received a Presidential Citizen Medal from President Reagan in November 1982. Weeks' local parades and ceremonies are now annual events celebrated nationwide.
Each year, Justice High School sponsors this assembly to honor our local veterans, the men and women who have served our country as members of the United States Armed Forces. Today, we have many veterans from our community in attendance, including FHS faculty and staff members, as well as the family members or friends of students and staff of Justice High School. These veterans represent all branches of the military, and some have served in conflicts that include the Second World War, the Korean War, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Iraq, and Afghanistan. All have served our country bravely and selflessly. We thank each and every one of you for your service to our nation and for being our guests today. If you're a veteran, please stand at this time.
For over 200 years, the men and women of our armed services have defended the United States and continue to keep vigilant watch over our great nation. Created in 1775, the Army, Continental Navy, and Marines have participated in every war since the American Revolution. Our current Air Force originated in 1907 as the Aeronautical Division of the Army Signal Corps, and was later named the Army Air Corps, and finally the United States Air Force after World War II. The Coast Guard originated in 1790 as the Marine Cutter Service and was renamed the Coast Guard in 1950 by Act of Congress. The debt of gratitude we as a nation owe these brave soldiers cannot be measured. With this tribute and song, let us remember those who have fallen and those who continue to serve. Thank you, veterans, for your service, and we ask that you stand and be recognized when your song is played. Students and teachers, please stand if you have a family member currently serving in the military when their song is played. United States Army. In 1921, an American soldier, his name known but to God, was buried on a Virginia hillside overlooking the Potomac River in the city of Washington, D.C. This burial site of the unknown World War I soldier in Arlington National Cemetery symbolized dignity and reverence for America's veterans.
Similar ceremonies occurred earlier in England and France where an unknown soldier of the Great War was buried in each nation's highest place of honor. In England, Westminster Abbey, in France, the Arc de Triomphe.
These memorial gestures all took place on November 11th, giving universal recognition to the celebrated ending of World War I hostilities at 11 a.m. November 11th, 1918, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. The day became known as Armistice Day.
Armistice Day officially received its name in America in 1926 through a congressional resolution. It became a national holiday 12 years later by similar congressional action. If World War I had indeed been the war to end all wars, November 11th might still be called Armistice Day. But in 1939, World War II broke out in Europe and shattered that dream. Of the 16 million Americans who served in the armed forces during World War II, more than 400,000 died.
I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over institutions of learning. I stand guard with power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher, my colors a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshipped. I am saluted. I am loved. I am revered. I am respected. I am feared. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. I was flown at Valley Forge, Gettysburg, Shiloh, and Appomattox. I was there at San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, and the Argonne Forest, Anzio, Rome, and the beaches of Normandy. Guam, Okinawa, Korea, and Quezon, Saigon, Vietnam, know me. I was there. I led my troops. I was dirty, battle-worn, and tired. But my soldiers cheered me, and I was proud. I have been burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of countries I have helped set free. It doesn't hurt me, for I am invincible. I have been soiled upon, burned, torn, and trampled in the streets of my country. And when it's done by those whom I have served in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the bonds of the earth and stood watch over the uncharted frontiers of space from my vantage point on the moon. I have borne silent witness to all of America's finest hours, but my finest hours are yet to come. When I am torn into strips and used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the battlefield, when I am flown at half-mast to honor my soldier, or when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving parent at the grave of their fallen son or daughter. I am proud. I am the flag of the United States of America.
The bravest man I know is a man I've never met. He's a man who risked his life to save a friend. Not only to save a friend, but to save a nation. Risking his life for those he does not know. Stepping up, leaving loved ones behind so that somewhere, someone else won't have to. He is a man who follows orders even though he knows he might die. The bravest man I know is the man who would rather die so one more person can go home to see his family again. The man who stares death in the face but never blinks. The bravest man I know is the man who risks his life so one day the world may be a better place for his children, or any man who goes against his biggest fear, death, just to save someone he loves. The bravest man I know is the man who fights so another man can have the taste of sweet freedom, not fighting only for his own benefit, but for many others all over the world. Fighting to make this world a better place, that's the bravest man I know. To all of our fallen soldiers, retired, active, and inactive military, God bless you.
Please rise for the filling of tasks by the flag bearer. This is a reminder to not applaud after the task is finished.
Thank you.
Color guard, attention. Color guard, retreat the colors. Color guard, retire the colors.
Thank you to our guests, those who participated, and the students in attendance. There will be no Tiger Timer advisory today. 6th through 8th hour will run as normal. Students will report to 4th hour until 11:33. You are dismissed.